Doc's making his lunch. Doc's making his lunch. Looks good, huh? Let's stir this baby up. So while my lunch is cooking, Jess, the good witch, is coming over today. We're gonna make up some dirt booster compost piles. She'll walk you through, and I'll walk you through how we make these. A couple of people have asked about top applying this to plants, and the answer is yes. All of our plants that we have, any of the flowers, vegetables, anything, we actually go and we'll put some of this right around the base of those plants. And like my hydrangeas back here, man, it really helped with them. So anyways, click that subscribe button, hit like, dislike, I don't care, whichever one you want. And then what I'll do today is we'll just walk you through making some of this, and I'm going to show you a couple tips in the garden and how we've sort of changed the way we sort of hold up our tomato plants. So hold on. All right, so Good Witch is here. We're gonna head over to the garden, and what we're gonna do is, now she's gonna be coming over and working the garden a lot while we're down working on the beach house. So I'm gonna refresh her on the dirt booster compost. I'm gonna have her make some of it. And then we're going over the different mowers that we're using for the actual backyard right now. So we've changed this up a little bit from last year. Let me show you something about these stakes. So last year what we did was we had 4 of these stakes on each of the beds, and we would tie it and sort of, but I think it compressed the plants too much. So this year we're doing just 2, and Jess, why don't you grab that yarn and put one, I'm gonna have her tie one over on this one over here. All she's gonna do right now is she's just gonna go around it twice and tie a double knot. And then we're gonna come around, here. Make sure that you guys can see this. And then we're gonna come around, keep it tight, there you go, and then go to the other end, and then we'll just tie it off at the other end. What this allows me to do is I can actually move this up and down some, but it allows me to sort of get any branches and put any branches of this underneath. And instead of squishing these plants together so much, holding up just that more center of the plant and allowing some of the plant to go out with better airflow. This right here is really thick yarn, and I buy it at Walmart, and each one of these is $2.50, and we may only use one a year. It's great stuff. It's very, very strong. Let me show you on this plant. So we have this tied up. I've already got tomatoes on this plant here, and then we've got it, you can see how we've got it just sort of holding up the center, and we're allowing these other branches to come off to the side on it. So if you don't know, a lot of people have not following our channel are going to say, what are all those weeds in your flower bed? If you haven't watched Gabe's video, you got to watch Gabe's video, but basically it's a cover crop. We use cover crops and complementary plants in the flower bed, in the garden beds, to act as our mulch. So as an example, you can see this is gorgeous. This is from seed. This is a squash plant, but you can see all the cover in here. Now we've got clover, we've got annual grasses. You can see some flowers back over here. Where else? There's some flowers, wildflowers. We planted wildflower seeds like this right here. So we've got all kinds of like wildflowers that'll attract pollinators as well as give us better cover. Now I'm going to come in here. We need to probably plant some more in here, but look how nice and thick this is. This is a great example. So most people would flip out when they saw this. This is extremely thick in here, but look at these. Look how healthy these tomato plants are. Look at that tomato leaf. That's huge. It's giant.
I've never seen one that big.
It's huge, but I mean,
that small.
But we come in now, what we'll do is we will trim some of this. You can see where we've trimmed some of it down to make sure we get sunlight. And then as we go in and take some of the bottom leaves off of our tomato plants. So we're about to make a dirt booster pile, but let me answer questions that I know are going to come up. Number one, can I apply dirt booster to my lawn? Yes, that's what we've been doing if you haven't watched. Normally we use something like a chicken feed, which is really cheap, but if you have a small lawn, you can take Dirt Booster, you can put it right into a spreader, and you can apply it to your lawn. Go over to dirtbooster.com. There's a page here that says lawn and turf, and we show you the spreaders and everything else, and I talk about it in a video over there. Number 2, do we have any problems with any kinds of rodents or wildlife? No, none whatsoever. Number 3, at what point do I take this Dirt Booster compost and put it into my gardens? Usually as the pile just starts to cool down is when I really like to transport this into the garden, because I know everything is really active. So just as that pile starts to cool down, that's when I'll go in. If you're not mixing it in right away or anytime, just as that pile starts to cool down. Another question is, can I plant directly in this Dirt Booster compost? No. We sent these tests, we sent this material off to Clemson University and had it tested, and it's extremely high in nutrients. I'm just going to warn you, there's a ton of carbon, there's a ton of nutrients. You don't want to plant directly inside of it. You use this as sort of a feed program. You mix it in with your current soil, or you top apply it around your plants. So anyways, we're going to make a pile. We'll watch it heat up the next morning, so hold on. All right, so we're going to make a pile of Dirt Booster, and let me tell you, I've got a couple little tricks for you. Number 1, I like to make it on a tarp. The reason being is I like to, after it starts, I like to cover it over and keep it kind of damp and moist and shaded, and you'll get a lot more fungus all around the pile. Number 1. Number 2, once I make that pile, I can now drag it and move it anywhere I want, so it doesn't have to sit here. So I can make this mobile. Also, if you're going to get like a heavy rain or cold night, you can just fold this over. I'll show you. We'll fold it over and we'll cover it. But step number 1 is go ahead and just try and use like only half right here. Fill this half. We're going to dump out. She's going to dump out the, we use black cow compost manure. She's going to dump that out here, and we're going to spread it out at about 1.5 inches or so. We're just going to get it all in here. You just dump it, we'll spread it with your hands. Alright, now that manure bag is actually pretty wet. So I don't think we're going to have to add any water to this. So the next thing is grab the bag of Dirt Booster, and I want to show you the bag of Dirt Booster. Last year we were sort of going out and bringing in a whole bunch of different parts. So this is a 20-pound bag. And it comes with its own recharge. So this is the microbial booster pack. So it comes with its own pack. So go ahead and, I guess, cut the whole bag open so we can sort of scoop it. And basically, you're going to put a coating like that over the whole thing. We'll use about, I like to use about 1/3 of a bag per bag of compost. You can get four piles if you want, but I like to use about 1/3 of the bag. And then just, I've got about 1.5 gallons, almost 2 gallons of water, and it's almost like this is almost like a powdery dust. Now there is some molasses, there is a little bit of humic and fulvic, not much, but we'll just dump it over and screw that on, and then we'll mix it up. Just mix it a little bit, and then we'll just pump her up and get ready to spray. Watch out, Linda, move. Okay, so what I like to do now is I go in and I just mix this up with my hand like this. Just mix this whole thing up, get it all mixed up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to spread it back out. So she has got this all laying down flat. Now here's one of the secrets to this. This has got to warm up. So we're going to let this sit in the sunshine for a good 2 or 3 hours. We're going to spray it one more time, and then we're going to pile it up into a pile like an ant pile. Then we're going to cover it up. And tomorrow morning I'll come out here, and what you're going to see is that pile should have fired up, getting close to probably about 120 degrees. That's that good microbe and fungus process started. Now I've got over here, amongst all my mess over here, I've got the remnants of some older dirt booster, and we're going to take that and put it around some plants. All right, so all we're going to do is we're just going to take, just a handful or two and just put it right around the base of the plants. And that's all we've done for a lot of our plants, and man, it really has helped them. It just doesn't take much. Why don't you take it and put some, I'll tell you where it really works well. See this potted plant over here? Just put a like a 1/2-inch layer on that right there. That little red flower thing has been there for 2 years. And I put a little bit of that dirt booster about a month ago. Man, it just popped right back. Okay, so let me just go over a couple real quick points. Number one, if you're using the dirt booster compost in your soil at the beginning of the year and you've put it in there, you will add no additional fertilizers. None. Zero. We don't use any more fertilizers. We just allow this natural compost and organic matter to feed the plants, and we have doubled our crop output. That's point number one. Point number two, if you have a garden going, you can make these dirt booster compost piles, and you can actually go in here and put that compost around the base of your plants, and lots of good things will happen. What happens? Well, if you don't understand mycorrhizal fungi, let me explain what happens. I've only got one hand. You have your plant roots. The fungi actually go in and surround your plant roots and extend your roots and double that gathering area. Your plant will deliver sugar to your fungi, and your fungi in return will deliver nutrients and water. It's a symbiotic relationship. You have to have this living soil to have really healthy, good quality plants. It's not just about having dirt and throwing fertilizer. It's about creating that living life cycle. That's why when you see all this cover crop in here, what's below this cover crop? There's a bunch of roots, and those roots are protecting that fungi in here and the microbes, and it's keeping my soil alive, and it's holding a lot more water. We're using a good 30% less water in these beds than the other ones. So anyways, remember, that's why we're doing this. Okay, so it's the next morning. We're gonna go over and we're gonna check the dirt booster pile. We'll take its temperature and I'll show you how it's heating up. But I wanna explain real quick what is inside dirt booster. The black particles are humichar, and humichar is 50% biochar and 50% humic acid. That's what your soil wants. And what's the light particles? The light particles are a corn flaky concentrate that comes from the distilling process. There's also molasses, dry molasses particles inside there. And then the packet contains your good microbes and your good fungus. So it's an all-in-one product that you guys requested, and so we had Anderson's formulate this. It's very clean. It smells like a sweet corn cereal, but it's everything that you need to create this living soil, this life cycle that really just, it makes your gardens and plants explode, and you don't have to use any fertilizers. Again, I'm gonna stress this. No fertilizers, just use this product, make up the compost piles, put it in, feed your plants. You'll be kind of shocked at what happens. So anyways, let's go over and let's look at this pile. And I've got steam coming off of it. Now, what I'll do is I'll come out here later, I'll turn this and I'll feel it. Now, sometimes that heat process can dry it out a little bit. So if it starts to dry out at all, just mist it with a little bit of water as you turn it. And if you want to apply the rest of your pack, you can too. Okay, so this is the really cool part. Watch this. Watch this steam. You ready? is just so cool. See all that steam coming off there? Folks, this is what we call a living soil. We have biochar carbon. We have good microbes, good fungus. We have nutrients. But see how it's starting to turn a little bit white? And that's what you want to see. You want to see this white part. And it smells so good. It just smells like raw earth. No pathogens, nothing to worry about. Man, that's just amazing. Look at that. Let's just open her up real quick for you. Look at that. Is that crazy or what? That is so cool. Just a real quick note. This is a sunflower that was started from seed in Dirt Booster. You can see it's up to my gutters. And we supplemented it with Dirt Booster. Let me show you. Look how gorgeous that thing is. That's got to be 7 or 8 feet tall now. But we're using the Dirt Booster inside of all of our flower gardens. You can put it on any plant that is living, period. Any vegetable, any flower, any tree, anything. If you have something that's struggling a little bit, just put a ring of this Dirt Booster compost around it. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to vegetable yields, we have almost doubled our yields. Out of 4 of these boxes, we pulled almost 200 pounds of tomatoes out of 4 boxes last year. We had a first planting that got hit by a fungus, an airborne fungus. Then we replanted and we had two productions of tomatoes for about 200 pounds. Now, at $2 a pound, that's a pretty good yield. So I will give you one little warning. In these post-COVID times, limited production, limited capacity. Don't yell at me if you go to buy it and it's out of stock. I'm just telling you right now. So if you want to use any, you plan to use it, order it early, make sure you have it in stock. We've been dealing with this all year long. Stuff runs out. So anyways, you can go to dirtbooster.com and read more about it. There's a bunch of videos up there. You can order it via Amazon. And that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up, thumbs down, either one. Give a shout out.